Valentine's Day is supposed to smell like roses and champagne. For me, it smelled like the dirty rainwater dripping from my hair while my sister pretended not to know my face through the crystal windows of her new world. Lagos is drowning in red this February. Heart-shaped balloons clog the street vendors' stalls, crimson roses overflow from the arms of men in pressed suits, and everywhere, there are couples laughing like they've discovered something the rest of the world doesn't understand. Rose stands in the middle of it all wearing a sun-bleached yellow blouse that was bright once, maybe 3 years ago. In her hands is a shopping bag from a boutique she had to walk past 6 times before she found the courage to enter. Inside, a scarlet silk dress for Ivy. Price, 47,000 naira. Cost, every meal Rose didn't eat for 5 weeks, the medication she skipped, the shoes she didn't replace even though the sole flaps open when she walks. While other women are hoping for roses from lovers, Rose is calculating the cost of Ivy's happiness. She doesn't want a Valentine. She wants her sister to shine bright enough for both of them. The math is simple in Rose's mind: Ivy's success equals their family's redemption. Ivy's acceptance into the sister's circle equals escape from poverty. Ivy's smile equals proof that Rose's suffering means something. What Rose doesn't know, what she won't know until she's standing in the rain outside the Valentine's gala, watching through glass as her sister laughs with people who smell like expensive perfume, is that she isn't buying Ivy's gratitude. She's buying the silk rope Ivy will use to cut her loose. The basin goes up at 5:47 a.m., same as always. Rose feels the familiar pressure settle into the groove on her head, the permanent indent that no amount of hair oil can hide anymore. 60 sachets of pure water, ice cold for now, though by noon they'll be lukewarm and by 3 o'clock they'll be selling at half price because nobody wants hot water in Lagos heat. Pure water. Cold pure water. Her voice cuts through the morning chaos of Oshodi Market. A bus conductor buys 3 sachets without looking at her face. A woman with a baby strapped to her back takes 2 and haggles the price down by 10 naira. Rose lets her. By noon, she sold 40 sachets. The math happens automatically now: 2,000 naira and, minus 800 for Mama says supply cost, minus 200 she still owes from last week. That leaves 1,000. Ivy's sister circle membership dues are 25,000 monthly. The Valentine's Gala entry fee alone is 15,000. Rose's stomach growls. She ignores it. There's half a loaf of bread waiting at home, she can make it last 3 days if she's careful. A text message lights up her cracked phone screen: "Sis, can you send 3K? Need new shoes for the pre-gala cocktail party. Love you." 3 heart emojis follow. Rose looks at the remaining sachets, feels the ache in her spine, counts the hours until sunset. She sends the money. That night, she opens her notebook, the one where she tracks every kobo spent on Ivy's ascent. The pages are full of numbers that tell a story: university fees, textbooks, hair appointments, gym memberships, the cooking class Ivy took to fit in with the soccer girls. Rose runs her finger down the column. 10 years. 847,000 naira. Every naira earned 1 sachet at a time. She closes the notebook and touches the space on her head where her hair has stained from the weight. Worth it. It has to be worth it. The invitation arrives on a Tuesday. Rose is boiling rice when Ivy bursts through the door, waving a cream-colored envelope like it's made of gold leaf. Rose. Rose, look. Ivy's voice is breathless, electric. It came. The official invitation to join the sister circle. She tears it open with manicured nails. Rose paid for those nails, 3,500 naira at a salon Ivy swore was necessary for networking, and reads aloud. "Miss Ivy Adewale, you are cordially invited to join the prestigious Sister Circle, Lagos chapter. Membership includes access to exclusive networking events, mentorship opportunities, and our annual Valentine's Gala at the Landmark Center." Ivy is spinning now, laughing, and for a moment she looks like she did when they were children, before their parents died, before Rose became more mother than sister. This is it, Ivy whispers, clutching the invitation to her chest. This is how we make it, Rose. These women, they are married to CEOs, senators, oil magnates. If I'm in their circle, we'll never struggle again. Rose smiles, turning back to the rice so Ivy won't see the tears. I'm proud of you. The membership fee is 25,000 naira monthly. Rose's hand freezes on the spoon. 25,000. Every month. And there's a one-time initiation fee. 50,000. Plus I need appropriate clothes for the events, and, Rose. Are you okay? Rose is doing the math. 50,000 plus 25,000. 75,000 naira. She makes maybe 3,000 on a good day. That's 25 days of perfect sales. No food. No rent. No medicine for the cough that's been getting worse. I handle it, Rose says, her voice steady even as something inside her cracks. Don't worry about the money. Just make us proud. Ivy hugs her from behind, quick and careless. You're the best, sis. Once I'm in, everything changes. You'll see. After Ivy leaves for her evening class, Rose stands in front of the small mirror. The woman looking back has aged 20 years in 10. Gray strands she's too tired to pluck. Lines around her mouth from smiling through hunger. She thinks about the sister circle. About Ivy in rooms with crystal chandeliers and champagne towers. About how some bridges get burned after you've already crossed them. The dress hangs in the boutique window like a warning. Scarlet silk, fitted bodice, a neckline that whispers elegance rather than screaming desperation. The kind of dress that makes you forget you ever knew what hunger felt like. Rose has walked past this window 17 times in 3 weeks. She knows the dress cost 47,000 naira because she asked once, pretending she was just browsing while the sales girl looked at her sun-damaged skin and broken sandals and smiled the way you smile at people who are wasting your time. Ivy mentioned it exactly once. There's this perfect dress at Bella's boutique. Red. Like Valentine's Day came alive. If I wear that to the gala, Marcus would definitely notice me. Marcus. The billionaire's son. The one who shows up to sister circle events in cars that cost more than Rose will earn in her lifetime. Rose's medication sits on the table at home, half finished. The doctor said to take it for 6 weeks. She's on week 3. The cough hasn't gotten better, but it hasn't gotten worse either, and that's almost the same thing as healing, isn't it? She does the math again. Medication cost 8,000 for the remaining 3 weeks. The dress cost 47,000. Together, 55,000. Her savings, 39,000. Rose stands outside the boutique, feeling the weight of the choice. Her lungs, or Ivy's chance at love. Her health, or her sister's happiness. She walks inside. The red dress in the window, she says. I take it. The sales girl blinks, reassesses. That's 47,000 naira. I know. Rose empties her savings, then borrows 8,000 from Mama Sei, promising to pay it back with interest. When she holds the shopping bag, her hands shake. That night, she wraps the dress in tissue paper and places it on Ivy's bed with a note, for Valentine's Day. Shine bright, my sister. Love, Rose. She takes her medication bottle and pours the remaining pills down the drain. Some investments require sacrifice. Rose has always understood this. What she doesn't understand, what she won't understand until it's too late, is that some people don't know the difference between an investment and a transaction. The lie starts small. Rose first notices during one of Ivy's phone calls with someone named Chioma from the circle. She's doing dishes in the kitchen, hands deep in soapy water, when she hears Ivy's voice shift into something unfamiliar. Oh, my parents. They were diplomats. Father worked for the embassy in Geneva. Mother was an education consultant. Ivy's laugh is light, practiced. They passed when I was young, unfortunately. Left me well provided for, of course. Rose drops the plate she's washing. It doesn't break, just clatters in the sink, but the sound is loud enough that Ivy glances toward the kitchen, eyes sharp with warning. Diplomats. Embassy. Well provided for. Their father drove a Danfo bus. Their mother sold tomatoes in Oimbo Market. They died in a fire that started because their landlord used faulty wiring to save money on electrical work. Rose opens her mouth, closes it. What would she say? Actually, I'm standing here in our 200,000 naira annual rent apartment that I pay for by selling water in the street. After Ivy hangs up, Rose tries to ask. Why did you tell her? Tell her what? Ivy's voice is ice wrapped in silk. About our parents. That's not. Rose. Ivy sits on the couch, crosses her legs. She's wearing the jewelry Rose bought her last month, the delicate gold pieces that cost 3 weeks of sales. These people don't understand struggle. If they know where I really came from, they'll never see me as an equal. They'll see me as charity. A project. But it's a lie. It's strategy. Ivy leans forward. You want me to succeed, don't you? You want all your sacrifice to mean something. Then let me do this my way. The logic is poisonous, but Rose swallows it anyway. Maybe Ivy is right. Maybe the truth is too heavy for the world Ivy is trying to enter. The lies get bigger. By the next week, Ivy is telling her circle friends that she lives alone in a modest family estate in Ikoyi that she's renovating. She stops mentioning Rose entirely. When her friends suggest visiting, Ivy makes excuses, construction noise, interior designers, scheduling conflicts. Rose becomes a ghost in her own home. When Ivy hosts her first circle meeting, just 3 girls, champagne, and canapes that Rose had to scrimp to afford, Rose is instructed to stay in your room until they leave. I can help serve, Rose offers. No. Ivy's voice is firm. Just stay invisible. Please. Rose spends 2 hours in her room, listening to Ivy laugh with women who think she's one of them. Stay invisible. She's been invisible her whole life. Carrying water makes you part of the scenery, people look through you, not at you. But she never thought her own sister would ask her to disappear. The rule is never spoken aloud, but Rose learns it through repetition. When Ivy's circle friends call, Rose answers with Adewale residence instead of her own name. When packages arrive, designer shoes, imported cosmetics, the kind of luxuries Rose pronounces incorrectly, she signs for them and leaves them on Ivy's bed without comment. When Ivy hosts her second gathering, Rose is given advance notice. Can you maybe go sell water in a different area that day? Somewhere far. They are coming over at 2, and I just think it would be easier if Rose doesn't exist. Rose sells water in Oja that day, 2 hours from home by bus. Her feet blister in the heat. She doesn't get back until 9 p.m. The apartment smells like expensive perfume and the faint trace of cigarette smoke Ivy thinks she's hidden. How was it? Rose asks, setting down her empty basin. Perfect. Ivy is glowing. Marcus was there. He asked about me. Like, specifically asked Chioma who I was. That's wonderful. He's taking me to the Valentine cocktail party next week. At his family's beach house. Ivy is pacing now, electric with possibility. Rose, this is it. If he's interested, if I can just make the right impression. You will, Rose says, even though her lungs are burning and she needs to sit down. You always do. That night, Rose coughs into a rag and sees spots of blood. Not much. Just enough to know that skipping the medication was a mistake she can't undo. She hides the rag at the bottom of the trash and takes 3 aspirin with tap water. In the next room, Ivy is on the phone, her voice honey sweet. No, I grew up abroad mostly. Switzerland for a bit, then London. My guardian insisted on the best schools. Rose leans against the wall and closes her eyes. She wonders if Ivy remembers the night after their parents died, when they huddled together in a neighbor's house with nothing but the clothes on their backs. When Rose, 17 years old, promised, "I'll take care of you, no matter what." She wonders if Ivy remembers who paid for the best schools Ivy claims her imaginary guardian provided. But memory, Rose is learning, is selective. And gratitude has an expiration date. Maybe you know what it's like to love someone who's slowly erasing you. To pour yourself out until you're empty, hoping they'll notice the sacrifice. If you've stayed with Rose this long, maybe you understand why some of us keep giving even when we know we should stop. I'm grateful you're here to witness this. Rose makes the decision on February 9th. She's counting her money, what little is left after Ivy's emergency request for hair appointments, makeup, the shoes that complete the Valentine's look, when she realizes she has just enough for a gala ticket. The thought arrives fully formed: what if I surprised her? Ivy has been so stressed about the Valentine's gala. What if Rose showed up, just for an hour, just to see Ivy shine in the red dress? She wouldn't make a scene. She'd stay in the back, quiet, invisible like always. But she'd be there, bearing witness to the moment all her sacrifice led to. She buys the ticket from a scalper, overpriced at 18,000 naira, but she bargains him down to 15,000. It takes her entire emergency fund. For the dress, she borrows from 3 different people: Mama Say, the Akora woman, even the Danfo conductor who sometimes gives her free rides. She finds a modest red dress at a thrift market, not silk, not designer, but clean and whole and dignified. February 14th arrives wrapped in rain clouds. Rose dresses carefully, her hands shaking. The red dress fits poorly at the shoulders, but it's the best she's ever looked. She even bought lipstick, 150 naira, the cheapest she could find, but it makes her feel like maybe she's allowed to exist in the same room as the sister circle. She takes a bus to the landmark center. The building is glass and gold, shimmering like a mirage. Women in evening gowns glide through the entrance. Men in tailored suits offer their arms. Rose stands at the edge, clutching her ticket. She imagines Ivy's face when she sees her. The surprise, the joy. Maybe Ivy will introduce her: "This is my sister. She made all of this possible." Maybe Ivy will finally see her. Rose walks through the entrance, past security, into a world that smells like champagne and orchids. The ballroom is a dream rendered in crystal and candlelight. And there, near the center of it all, is Ivy. She's wearing the red silk dress, and she looks like she was born to stand in rooms like this. Marcus is beside her, his hand resting on her lower back, and they're laughing at something someone said. Rose's heart swells. This moment. This is what 10 years of sacrifice looks like. She takes a step forward, smiling, ready to catch Ivy's eye. She doesn't see the trap closing until it's already sprung. Ivy sees her first. Rose watches her sister's face transform, the smile freezing, cracking, then reforming into something Rose has never seen before. Horror. No, worse than horror. Disgust. Rose. Rose calls out, waving, moving through the crowd. "Ivy, I wanted to surprise." Security. The word cuts through the music like a blade. Ivy is walking toward her now, but not with welcome. With purpose. With rage barely masked by social grace. Marcus follows, confused, his hand dropping from Ivy's back. "Ivy, I just wanted to see you in the dress, I thought. I don't know this woman." Ivy's voice is loud enough for the nearby guests to hear. Loud enough for Marcus to hear. She's been following me since the bus stop, claiming we're related. It's harassment. Rose's world tilts. The words don't make sense. She looks at Ivy, really looks, and sees a stranger wearing her sister's face. What? No, Ivy, it's me. It's Rose. Your sister. I don't have a sister. Ivy turns to Marcus, her voice dropping into something vulnerable, victimized. She's done this before. Shows up at my events, makes wild claims. I think she's mentally unstable. 2 security guards are moving toward them now. Rose can feel the eyes of the entire gala turning in their direction. Please, Rose whispers, her voice breaking. Please don't do this. I'm not here to embarrass you. I just wanted to see you happy. The dress, I bought you that dress. The dress. Ivy laughs, and it's the cruelest sound Rose has ever heard. This dress cost 47,000 naira. Look at you. You're wearing rags from the thrift market. You probably smell like the street. Marcus is watching now, really watching. His eyes move from Ivy to Rose and back again. Miss, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. The security guard's hand is on Rose's arm, firm but not yet forceful. Rose reaches into her small purse, the one she's carried for 8 years, and pulls out a photograph. It's old, creased, the edges soft from being touched too many times. 2 girls, arms around each other, grinning at a borrowed camera. Look, Rose says, holding it toward Ivy with shaking hands. Look at us. Remember. Remember when we promised we'd always. Ivy slaps the photograph away. It flutters to the marble floor. Get this beggar out of here, she says coldly. Before she tries to steal something. The guards grab Rose's arms. She doesn't fight. She's watching Ivy, searching for some flicker of recognition, of guilt, of humanity. Nothing. As they drag her toward the exit, Rose hears Ivy's voice, smooth and practiced. I'm so sorry about that, Marcus. You see what I have to deal with? These people think just because you've succeeded, they can claim some connection and extort you. The last thing Rose sees before the guards push her through the doors is Ivy, picking up the fallen photograph and dropping it into a trash bin without looking at it. Then she's outside. In the rain. Alone. The bus stop bench is wet, but Rose sits anyway. She can't feel the rain. Can't feel the cold. Can't feel anything except the vast, howling emptiness where her sister used to be. Her cheap red dress is soaked through. Mascara, the 200 naira kind that isn't waterproof, runs down her cheeks in black rivers. She doesn't wipe it away. 10 years. 847,000 naira. Every sachet of water, every skipped meal, every lie she told herself that it was worth it, that Ivy would remember, that sacrifice meant something. Gone. A bus pulls up. The conductor shouts destinations. Rose doesn't move. She thinks about the medication she didn't take. The food she didn't eat. The life she didn't live because she was too busy building a ladder for someone else to climb. She thinks about Ivy's face, the disgust, the ease of the lie, the way she dropped that photograph in the trash like it was garbage instead of proof that they once loved each other. I don't have a sister. Rose makes a sound that might be a laugh or might be something breaking. How many times did she introduce Ivy to people? This is my sister. My brilliant, beautiful sister. Everything I do is for her. How many times did Ivy erase her in return? The cough comes then, hard and wet. She tastes copper. Blood, probably. The price of choosing Ivy's dress over her own medicine. A woman walking past with an umbrella stops. Are you all right? Rose looks up at her. Do you have a sister? Yes, I. Don't give her everything, Rose says. Don't give her so much of yourself that there's nothing left. Because one day she'll look at you and see a stranger. And you realize you've been a stranger to yourself for years. The woman hurries away. Rose sits there as the rain falls and the night deepens. She thinks about going home, but home is Ivy's apartment now, Ivy's space, built on Rose's money but belonging entirely to someone who pretended not to know her name. She thinks about pure water sachets and basin-shaped grooves and 10 years of being invisible. She thinks about how you can love someone so much that you disappear. And she wonders, if Ivy doesn't remember her, if the last 10 years don't exist in Ivy's version of the story, then who is Rose? What is she? Just a ghost haunting the edges of someone else's success. The rain doesn't answer. But somewhere in the silence, something in Rose begins to shift. Not healing. Not yet. But maybe the first crack in the foundation she's been lying on for someone else to stand tall. Excuse me. Rose doesn't look up. Another stranger, another moment of pity she doesn't want. You drop this. She looks up then. It's a man in an expensive suit, holding something small and soggy. The photograph. He must have seen it in the trash, pulled it out. Wait. Not just any man. Marcus. The billionaire's son. Ivy's prize. You should keep it, he says quietly, sitting beside her on the wet bench without asking permission. Even if she doesn't want to remember. Rose takes the photograph with numb fingers. Why would you care? Because I know you. She looks at him properly now. He's studying her face with an intensity that makes her uncomfortable. We've never met, she says. Not formally. But 12 years ago, I was a kid living on the streets. Oshodi area. I'd steal food from vendors, sleep in bus parks, dodge the police. He touches his left hand, runs a finger along a scar near his thumb. One day I got hit by an okada while running from a shopkeeper I'd robbed. Messed up my hand pretty badly. Rose's breath catches. She knows that scar. She remembers that day. A girl stopped, Marcus continues. Water seller. Couldn't have been more than 16, 17. She was hauling this massive basin, but she put it down to help me. Gave me her drinking water to clean the wound. Gave me 3 sachets to sell and told me to keep the money. Even gave me her lunch, half a loaf of bread and groundnuts. His voice is soft now, weighted with memory. I asked her why she was helping me. She said, because nobody helped me when I needed it. So I have to help you. He turns to Rose. You had a scar on your right hand. From an old burn. Rose lifts her hand slowly. The burn scar from a childhood accident is still there, faded but visible. That was you, Marcus whispers. You were the reason I stopped stealing. I used those 3 sachets of water to start an honest hustle. Sold water for 2 years, saved every kobo, got into a skills program. Everything I became started with your kindness. Rose can't breathe. Can't speak. When I met Ivy 2 months ago and she mentioned where she went to university, I thought maybe you were connected. Same last name, similar features. But when I asked if she had family, she said no. Said she was alone. His jaw tightens. Now I understand why. She's ashamed of me, Rose says, and the words taste like blood. She's ashamed of herself, Marcus corrects. Because she knows what you are and what she isn't. He stands, pulls out a business card, places it in her hand. I own a bottling company now. Started small with water, expanded to beverages. We are looking for a partner to launch a new distribution model, street-level sales with dignity and profit sharing. He meets her eyes. I owe you a debt I can never fully repay. But I can offer you this, a chance to stop carrying other people's water and start building your own empire. Rose stares at the card. Thompson Beverages. Marcus Thompson, CEO. What about Ivy? She whispers. What about her? His voice is cold now. I don't date liars. And I certainly don't marry people who throw away the best thing in their life because it doesn't match their designer handbag. He starts to walk away, then turns back. The gala's still happening. She's inside telling everyone I had to leave for an emergency business call. By tomorrow, I'll make sure everyone knows the truth about who she really is. He pauses. Or rather, who she isn't. Then he's gone, and Rose is alone with a soggy photograph and a business card and the strange, terrifying feeling of a future that might belong to her. Sometimes the people we've been searching for have been searching for us too. Sometimes redemption doesn't come from the person who broke you, it comes from a stranger who remembers when you were kind. If this story has meant something to you, maybe it's because you know what it's like to wait for the world to finally see you. Thank you for seeing Rose. 6 months later, Rose stands in front of her new office building. It's not massive, just 3 floors in a decent part of Ikeja, but the sign above the entrance makes her chest tight with something she's forgotten how to name. Pride, maybe. Or just the simple, quiet satisfaction of building something that belongs to her. Rose Pure Bottling and Distribution Company. Inside, 23 women are preparing for their shifts. Former water sellers, every one of them. Now they are sales partners with profit shares, health insurance, and the kind of dignity that comes from being valued rather than invisible. Mama Sei is the operations manager. The Akora woman runs the logistics division. They are family now, the kind you choose, the kind that chooses you back. Rose's phone buzzes. A message from Marcus, board meeting at 3. And congratulations on the new partnership with ShopRite. You're going to change this industry. She smiles. They are partners now, business partners, but also something closer. Something built on respect and shared history and the understanding that some debts can only be repaid by paying them forward. Her phone buzzes again. Unknown number. Rose, please. I need to talk to you. I made a mistake. Please. Ivy. Rose hasn't seen her sister since that night. But she's heard the stories, how Marcus publicly ended things at the gala, how the sister Sako discovered Ivy's lies and expelled her, how the carefully constructed life came apart like tissue paper in rain. Ivy is working at a call center now. Living in a one-room apartment in Suralea. Selling the designer clothes to pay rent. Learning, perhaps, what it costs to survive. Rose looks at the message for a long moment. Her fingers hover over the keyboard. She could respond. Could offer help. Could be the bridge one more time. Instead, she deletes the message. Not out of cruelty. Not even out of anger. But because some bridges, once burned, are meant to stay as ash. And some people need to learn to build their own foundations. That evening, Rose hosts a small Valentine's party at the office. Nothing fancy, just jollof rice, drinks, and the women who've become her real circle. They toast to success, to survival, to the future they are building together. Someone asks if she's dating anyone. Rose laughs. Maybe next Valentine's. This year was about falling in love with myself again. Later, alone in her office, she takes out that old photograph. Studies the 2 girls who once believed they'd never be apart. She doesn't throw it away. But she doesn't frame it either. She files it in a drawer marked past and closes it gently. Then she opens her laptop and gets back to work. There's a new contract to review, a new partnership to negotiate, a new future to build. Outside, Lagos pulses with life. Somewhere in the city, Ivy is learning what it means to carry your own weight. Somewhere, other sisters are making choices about love and sacrifice and how much of yourself you're willing to lose. But here, in this office that smells like fresh paint and possibility, Rose is learning something different. She's learning that the best person to build a ladder for is yourself. And that sometimes, the greatest love story isn't about who you give everything to. It's about who you finally become when you choose to give to yourself.